Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this is Rachel again. So in this video I'm going to be sharing with you how I got a befitting job in Dubai within a month of moving here. I'm also going to be sharing with you my faith journey, basically how I exercise my faith in getting this job. So if you're new to Dubai or you're planning to relocate, grab a pen and a notepad because I will be sharing with you practical tools and tips and also strategies that helped me in this job search. Let us get right into the video. First tip here is to tailor your CV to the UAE format. This is very important. You need to adapt your CV to the UAE format, unlike what we're used to, especially in Nigeria, where we do not put our pictures on our CV. It is very important here that you have your picture or your photo on your CV. I know it's a bit different, but trust me, it is very, very essential. So basically, you take a professional picture, preferably an headshot with a white background, and then you put it on your CV. If you're very familiar with Dubai or UAE in general, you will understand why the employer or the recruiter would want to see what you look like before they even invite you for an interview. We have a lot of people from different nationality, different backgrounds, so I think that is why they would like to see what everyone looks like on their CV before they even invite them for an interview. So another tip here is to take your time to make your CV visually appealing. You want the CV to be appealing to the eyes, you want it to be professional, and it's very important again for you to tailor your CV to each job application. I'm going to explain this later, but note that you cannot use a generic CV for all of your application. Each of the CV should highlight the special skills or experience that is relevant to that specific job that you are applying for. So a quick tip here, you can use tools like Canva. I am on Canva most of the time for any of my graphic design. So I use Canva to design my CV, and Canva has a lot of templates, so you don't have to start building your own CV from scratch. They have template that you can leverage on to help you to design something that would work for the application you're trying to do. Okay, so tip number 2 is to leverage job portals and networking. Job portals like LinkedIn, Nakrigol, Bayut are my go-to platform. So LinkedIn especially, it is a game changer. So I optimized my profile, I connected with industry professionals, and even reached out to recruiters directly. So here you want to be bold. You don't want to just wait for jobs to come to you. You look for the job. So you reach out to people in the industry you're trying to penetrate. Simple DM like, hi, my name is Rachel, I just moved to Dubai, I'm trying to penetrate the market, you have tips or insight for me, just start a conversation with them. Tell them what your aspirations are, tell them the field you're trying to penetrate into, ask them questions. How have they been able to navigate getting a job in Dubai market is very competitive, so you don't want to sit back waiting for jobs to come to you. You go after the job. So networking is just as important as you applying for the job. Okay, don't be afraid to attend events, conferences, or just meet people, network, ask them questions that will help you to navigate this phase. So another thing that helped me was starting my job application months before I even moved to Dubai. So I started maybe 2 or 3 months before I moved to Dubai because I knew I was coming here. I just wanted to understand how the market works, what are the challenges, what are the things I need to know, what are the job requirements, do I need to get an additional skills, do I need to get a certification. So this gave me a very good start in understanding the market better, and if you're planning to relocate, this is a step that you need to take seriously. So research on the job market, update your CV, get to know if you need to get an additional skills or a certification that would help you once you get into the country. So it is very important for you to start your application very early. So the next tip here is to apply broadly and consistently. Consistency is key. You have to apply consistently. So when I was applying, I made it a point to apply for at least 15 jobs every single day. I mean it every single day. So the UAE job market is very competitive. Everybody is trying to get into the market. Everybody wants the job. So the competition is high. So you need to cast the wide net so you can increase your chances, you can increase your reach. So it is important that you apply every single day. You don't want to apply today, cannot apply tomorrow, and then apply next tomorrow. No, apply every day, and not just apply every day. Apply broadly, right? Apply broadly. Do a lot of applications. I know someone that said, looking for a job is even another job on its own. Yes, it's another job on its own. So you dedicate your time, you apply consistently. However, you don't just mass apply without strategy, meaning that I remember when I started applying, I was in the wrong way. I usually do about 30 applications in a day. I'm going to tell you how. So, if you check on LinkedIn has this easy apply. So, I remember I have this generic CV that I use for all of my application, and that is very, very wrong. You cannot use just one CV for all of your applications. I think I've mentioned that before, and I cannot overemphasize this point. You cannot be applying with a generic CV. So I was using a generic CV for all of my applications, and then I use Easy Apply on LinkedIn. So Easy Apply has already saved your CV on LinkedIn profile. So once you click on Easy Apply, just fill some forms which are like three three lines of form, and then you submit to like automatically submit your applications and send it to the recruiter. So that makes it easy. And I was able to do 31 applications or even more in a day. And that lacks strategy, it lacks focus, and you wouldn't even get anywhere. Most of them I get rejection mail almost immediately I apply because I was in it the wrong way. So it is very important that you don't just mass apply, you apply your strategy. Okay, have your CV tailored for each of those applications. So each CV would highlight the skills and the experience that is specific for that job role or the job description you're trying to apply for. I hope you understand that. Okay, the next point here is to master ATS. So let's talk about ATS. ATS is applicant tracking system. Okay, you can think of ATS as a filter that scans the CV for keywords and relevance before a recruiter even sees it. So just to explain that, okay, when there's a job application, the recruiter or the employer gets thousands of applications, and they can't possibly go through the applications or the CV one after the other looking for who is qualified or not. So this is where the ATS come into play. So most of the recruiters that you see now, they use ATS to scan through all of the applications they get. Okay, and what is the ATS looking for? Is looking for keywords in your CV that matches the job description. So if the ATS does not see keywords in your CV that matches this description, automatically you get a rejection email. And they're not just looking for keywords, right? Even if they find keyword in your CV, there's usually a benchmark. Say they're looking for 90% match or maybe a 99% match, depending on what the benchmark is. So you want to ensure that all of the keywords that's been mentioned in the listing or the description is found in your CV. So it increases the chances of your CV being seen by the recruiter. I hope you understand what I mean. So now, how do you beat the ATS? First thing you want to do is to read the job description carefully, and then you include those keywords that matches the skills and the qualification that's been listed in the job description. And number two is for you to avoid fancy fonts or formats that ATS cannot read. So this is very important. ATS is a machine, right? It's a software. So you should ensure that you tailor your CV, make it ATS friendly. Don't use all this fancy font and formatting that the ATS will not be able to read. So it is important that you keep it very simple and professional. Preferably use Arial or use Times New Roman as font, and then the size make it very bold and make it friendly so the ATS can see what you have on your CV. And I'm going to be creating another video soon, actually, that would focus on how to create an ATS friendly CVs. But for now, the point you should remember is to tailor your CV to each of the job applications, and then Ensure that you have keywords in your CV that matches the skills and qualifications that's been listed in the job description. All right, the next tip here, I think this should be number four. I'm not sure, I wasn't counting. But the next one is to diversify your application. This is very important. Okay, so you don't want to limit yourself by just applying for one job title. I'm going to explain this using myself as a case study. Okay, so my primary background is in supply chain management. I've had various roles in supply chain management, started as a training and then moved to a material requirement planner role, moved to a demand planner role, and I also did some supply chain analyst role, did some data analyst role as well. So I did not limit myself because the last role I was on before I moved was demand planner. I didn't limit myself to just applying for demand planner roles. I was applying for all of the roles across the supply chain management, be it logistics analyst, be it material requirement planner, be it demand planner, be it supply chain analyst, anything that falls within the supply chain management role, I applied. I also applied for roles in real estate because I studied estate management in school over Femola University. So I applied for real estate jobs too. And then you know that Dubai is very big on real estate. So one of the biggest market for real estate in the world is Dubai. So I also applied for real estate roles, applied for data analysis roles, I applied for customer relations role. Basically, if you know you can do a job or you have an experience in the job, you look at the job descriptions, you see what the requirement is, and then you feel like you fit in, apply. Don't limit yourself, okay? Apply. So the goal here is that you want to penetrate the market first. And don't forget that most recruiters or most employers in UAE, especially Dubai, they would want to employ someone who already has experience within Dubai compared to someone who is coming to another country. So the goal for me here was that I want to penetrate the market, and once I penetrate the market, I will be able to get something more let me say sustainable or something more tailored to my career goal in the next 5 or 10 years. So I just want to penetrate the market first. That was the goal for me, and I think I achieved that. So, but luckily, I was able to get what I wanted. So, glory to God. What I'm saying here is that you should try to diversify your application. Don't just apply for one job title. Okay. The next tip I want to share with you is to find a mentor. Find a mentor. So having a mentor can save you a lot of time and mistakes. I told you about the mistake I made while I was applying, not making my CV ATS friendly. You need to get a mentor. I remember when I was in Canada with your languages, I was talking to them like I was in a lot of applications and just getting rejection emails. Like, why is this happening to me? And he told me that he asked me how I've been applying. I told him. He said, "Oh, pass ATS near. Oh, pass ATS near." I was like, "What is ATS?" So you need to get a mentor who will guide you on how to apply. You need to get a mentor who will show you that, okay, these are the mistakes that I made while applying. I don't want you to make the same mistake. You don't want to waste your time. So you want to do it right and do it good. So get a mentor who knows the job market, who knows how to apply, who can even guide you through the interviews and help you review your CVs and basically offer you invaluable advice. So you need to get a mentor in this line that can guide you. And if you're in Dubai or any other country, you need help with reviewing your CV, or you need help in getting strategies and tips for your job search, feel free to reach me on my email. I will be happy to help you or to support you on that. You can reach me at rachellawale@gmail.com, RACHELLAWALE at gmail.com. I will be happy to support you. Okay, guys, so the last point I'm going to be talking about is to stay positive and exercise your faith. I intentionally left this for the last, like saving the best for the last. Guys, I cannot overemphasize those points. Please stay positive and exercise your faith. I'm going to share with you quickly my experience, right? So before I moved to Dubai, I did a lot of research, and basically the reason for my research is I wanted to understand what the market is. And I remember that this particular guy that I follow on TikTok, this guy talks a lot. He talks a lot, and then he acts like is the I'm not going to mention anybody's name, but you're very familiar with Dubai, visa, job market, opportunities for Nigerians in Dubai. You should know what I'm talking about. See, let me not get into the story, but the summary is that you need to filter the things you listen to. You need to guard your heart. If you listen to a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people on TikTok, they are going to sow seed of doubt in your mind. They're going to tell you things like there are no job for Nigerians. Even when you get job, there are no visas for you. So don't even try. They are not trying to say that there are jobs out there. It is difficult, I agree. It is competitive, I agree. But what I'm saying is you can exercise your faith to get something befitting for yourself. Even if it's only one job out there, I had that mindset, I had that belief and faith in God that that job would be mine. And yes, I got a job. So stop feeding on all those junks from internet saying there are no jobs. It's so difficult for Nigerians to live in Dubai. It is actually, but when other people are saying it is difficult, for me, I'm going to say it is easy. When there's a casting down, for me, it's a lifting up. So exercise your faith. It's not applicable to Dubai alone. Wherever you find yourself, even in Nigeria, things are difficult, things are not working, it's difficult times, and this is the right time for you to pray. It might take longer than a month, it might take lesser than a month, but let God see you through this process. So this is very important for you to exercise your faith. Okay, so if you're a Christian, if your faith aligns with mine and you'd like me to agree with you in prayer, feel free please to reach out to me at Lawale, Lawale at gmail.com, RACHELLAWALE at gmail.com. I will be happy, like more than happy to agree with you in prayers and basically walk in this phase or this process with you. And I believe that there is a job out there for you, not just any job, a befitting job, a job befitting your status in Christ. Okay, so those are the tips that I have for you today. And don't forget, I said I'm going to make another video talking about how to create an ATS friendly CV. So look out for that video. Ensure you subscribe, please. Subscribe to my channel. Drop me a comment if you have any other question that I did not address in this video. Drop a comment in the comment section. I'm going to do my best to answer your questions. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.